What's going on, everyone? You got Matt here, and welcome to the first part of this series, which I'm going to be calling a draft league discussion. Today we're going to be talking about the ban list, and most notably, some Pokemon on the ban list that either I think should or should not be banned, based on just their stats, abilities, move pool, the way you use them, what their viable sets are, all that kind of stuff. This is based on the draft league format and not on Smogon, not on VGC, just based on how you can adjust for these Pokemon, how you can prep for them in the draft league format. So before I begin, make sure to hit the subscribe button. That way you know when my next video goes live. You can also follow me on Twitter. The link is in the description. Also, be sure to share the video with your friends. I would really appreciate that. And then leave your comments, leave your opinions in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about the Pokemon we'll be covering today. There are 3 Pokemon we'll be covering today. Those are Tapu Lele, Magearna, and Hoopa Unbound. And then I have a bunch of other Pokemon planned for later on. But let me know if there's some Pokemon that you want to see me cover in a later video. So, again, before we begin, this is based on my opinion. So make sure that you let me know what your opinion is in the comment section below, and don't roast me too much for mine. Also, make sure to like the video as well. If you do, I will be forever in your debt. I would consider it a great personal favor to me. So thank you very much for liking the video in advance. And join my personal Discord server. It is linked in the description below as well. So let's get started. The first Pokemon we're looking at is Tapu Lele. Like I said, this thing is very strong. 130 base special attack is bonkers. I love having Pokemon with high special attack stats. To me, it's more busted than physical attack because physical attack has Intimidate, has Will-O-Wisp. But yeah, special attack to me, I love it. Also, being a Psychic and a Fairy type is great. It's an amazing typing. Very, very good typing. Fairy type is one of the most broken types in the game. We already knew that. Then you pair Psychic type, which has very few resistances in itself. It's great. One of the best things about this thing, again, is its ability. Psychic Surge is phenomenal. You have the ability to summon Psychic Terrain when you switch into the field. And that means for 5 turns, unless you have Terrain Extender or an opponent sends in another Tapu, you have Psychic Terrain, which means you can be immune, or you can stop, just halt, completely erase any priority move, and you can increase the power of Psychic type moves by 1.5 times, meaning that you basically have a choice specs on all of your Psychic type moves, and your opponents, of course, any Pokemon that's in terrain get that boost. So let's look at its moves. You have access to Psychic, Psyshock, there you go. You have Moonblast, you have Nature's Madness, there we go. You have T-Bolt, you have Energy Ball, you have Focus Blast, you have the Hidden Powers, you have Aromatherapy, which is kind of nice, Calm Mind for setup, you have Taunt as well, Taunt is great, you have Toxic, Toxic is good, you might assume most Pokemon get Toxic, but I'll cover that in a bit. So yeah, this thing is so powerful. You have Dual Screens, Reflect, and Light Screen. So this thing is super powerful. It has so many different options. But to me, the biggest issue with this thing is the fact that it relies so much on its item. Lele, to me, does one of 2 things. It either wall breaks or it sweeps. And it usually sweeps if you have Webs up, which is very common now because of the increase in Sticky Web users. Or it's or wall breaks with a Life Orb or Choice Specs. Now, that's so powerful because you have access to Psychic terrain and powerful Psychic type moves, and then moves to deal with Dark types that are immune to your Psychic type moves. But to me, just the fact that you have to rely on your item to sweep or rely on your item to break really isn't that amazing. I mean, it's good, don't get me wrong, it's one of the best at what it does. It's an amazing wall breaker, it's an amazing sweeper, it's a decent Assault Vest user even. But because of the fact that you need its item to be that much more of a threat, I don't think this thing is as bannable as it should be. If I was creating my own league, I would actually keep it around, because you have 10 to 11 Pokemon that can try to deal with this thing. You're not going to draft an answer to it, but you're going to draft an answer to a Psychic type, you're going to draft an answer to a Fairy type, so maybe you can taunt this thing, or not taunt this thing, but Toxic this thing, or T-Wave this thing, or do it with a powerful Steel move or Poison move. So you need to have some answers to a Tapu, and I mean, all the Tapus are kind of answered by the same things, being Steel types, being Poison types. So I'm okay saying, hey, this thing should be allowed, or it could be fine to be allowed. One of the big weaknesses that it does have is that it has low physical defense. Because it only has base 75 defense and only 95 speed, fast physical Pokemon will be able to just hit it with a Poison Jab or an Iron Head, or even like a Flare Blitz or something like that, or a Gunk Shot, then this thing will go down because it doesn't have the best defenses. So that's that, guys. I think Lele should be unbanned. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Next up though, we have Magearna, and Magearna to me is, I like Magearna more than Lele. That's just because I've used it more, but I think it's not as busted as Lele. Because Lele to me, you can just send it in and say, go for it, get a kill, click a button, something dies, or something gets 2 KO'd. So that's that. Magearna, on the other hand, because of its speed, it kind of has to set out to get the ball rolling. Unless you're running Assault Vest, of course. And Assault Vest, you're just trying to be bulky and create options for your team, and then potentially just live a hit, maybe KO one Pokemon, and then die to something's powerful physical, fire, or ground type move. So that's that. Magearna has really solid moves. You have a ton of them. I'm just going to scroll through them because you have Aura Sphere, you have Calm Mind, Dazzling Gleam, Energy Ball, Flash Cannon, Flare Cannon, Focus Blast, Grass Knot, Ice Beam, Iron Head, Light Screen Reflect, Shadow Ball, Signal Beam, T-Wave, Thunderbolt, Volt Switch. No Toxic though. Trick Room, Shift Gear. Looking down over here, what else do you get? You get Gear Up, I guess, but that's not important. Gyro Ball, not that important. But like, you look at the rest of what it has. Magnetize can be kind of cool. Synchro Noise as a Z move can be very useful, and Solar Beam as a Z move can be very useful. So this thing has a couple options. To me, the big issue with it is that you need to have either Shift Gear or Trick Room or Calm Mind or something like that to be able to really be even more effective. Its best sets are its setup sets. It's a still good Assault Vest user, don't get me wrong, but to me its best sets are the fact that it has to set up, and without that, it struggles. If you're Shift Gear, then okay, that's great. You usually have to be timid, because if you're not timid, at 252 with a +2 from Shift Gear, you don't outspeed Scarf base 90s. I believe with a positive nature, I believe you don't outspeed, what is that? That's Scarf, I think that's Scarf based 100s or 105s, I think you don't outspeed with a timid nature or a jolly nature, whatever you're gonna run. I just deleted Magearna, I didn't want to do that. So you're not that fast, and having Shift Gear is great, yeah, but you usually need 2 Shift Gears to outspeed everything. On the other hand, if you want to run Trick Room, that ends after 5 turns. So yeah, it ends, but there's also a chance your opponent might have even slower Pokemon. So they're anticipating a Trick Room set. The slowest you can be is what? You're going to be at 121. I think, what, if I go Conkeldurr, what's Conkeldurr reach? Well, okay, so you reach 121. If Conkeldurr decides, hey, I'm going to be at 120 just in case my opponent decides to bring Shift Gear Magearna, then I'm good to go. So you have some options, yes, and Magearna is very powerful, don't get me wrong. I love it, I think it's busted, but I think there are enough answers to it, I think there's enough weaknesses to it, that if I had it in my own league, I would say it's unbanned. But I do think that Lele and Magearna should be paired up, no matter what. I think if Lele is unbanned, Magearna should be. Same thing goes if Magearna is unbanned, then Lele should be. I also think if one is banned, the other should be. You have to pair these two together because they kind of even each other out. So that's that. I like both Pokemon. I think they're great. I would unban both in my own personal league though. And I mean, my favorite thing about Magearna though is actually that it gets Volt Switch. That's my favorite thing. I love it. Having Assault Vest Pokemon with Volt Switch is great. Having it just be able to switch out on whatever is going to be sent in, awesome. Unless it's a ground type, of course, or a Pokemon with Volt Absorb, Lightning Rod, Motor Drive. So yeah, very excited that I would say Magearna is unbannable. Next up though, our last Pokemon we're going to be covering for today is Hoopa Unbound. And Hoopa Unbound is deceptively good. Or no, deceptively bad, I'd say. Definitely one of the strongest Pokemon there are. 160 base attack, 170 base special attack. Let's put that into perspective. Look at attack stats. Mega Mewtwo X, Heracross, Kartana, Deoxys, Mega Rayquaza, Mega Garchomp, Kyurem, Ultra Necrozma. Going down, where is it? You have Slacking at 160, and then Hoopa Unbound. What's ahead of it? You have a couple Legends, a couple Megas, and then a couple Pokemon whose only stats are in attack. So, like this thing is so powerful, and that's only on its physical attack. Its special attack is higher. Look at its special attack. It's all the way here at number, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 8th in special attack. Behind again a bunch of Ubers, a Mega, and Circuitry. So which has its only stat in special attack. So that's that. I love this thing. I think it's very powerful. I just think it's not as good as people make it out to be. Because it's so powerful on its attacking stats, people are like, oh, it's busted. It has a great move pool, it's busted. Brick Break, Dark Pulse, Energy Ball, all these moves here, Hyperspace Fury, Knockoff, Psychic, Psyshock, they're good, yeah, don't get me wrong. But it has so many weaknesses that it makes it not really worth it. Psychic Dark isn't that great of a typing. It's a good typing offensively, but because you're 4 times weak to U-turn and you have 60 defense, pitiful 60 defense, you're in a bad situation with momentum moves. Another issue is that's in the middle of the pack in terms of speed. Hoopa is usually going to outspeed things, and you either need a Choice Scarf to do that, a Z-Snatch to do that, or a Trick Room to do that. And if you're running Trick Room, you're not going to outspeed many things. I believe base 50s will outspeed you if you're running a, see Chansey is base 50. Yeah, Chansey will outspeed you under Trick Room still. And like that's a base 50 Pokemon. So you're really not in the best situation to run Trick Room with this Pokemon. It does have powerful offensive moves, and it does rely a lot on its move pool and its offensive stats, but to me, it's just not all that. It's very powerful, yeah, has a lot of great options, but because of its 4x weakness, it's terrible ability. Its ability is horrible, guys. Like, compared to Magearna and Lele, whose abilities are beyond good, Magician is garbage. So, I apologize to all those Magician fanboys out there, but to me, Magician really isn't all that. Anyways, that is my thoughts on Hoopa. I would unban it, personally, if I had my own personal league, so I would unban these 3. I don't think that's going to happen again with the Pokemon that I have planned for you guys, but these 3 I think should definitely unbanned. I think that if Hoopa is banned, then that means Magearna and Lele should be, but if Magearna and Lele are, and Hoopa isn't, I have no problems with that. Anyways, that is my opinions on these Pokemon, guys. Make sure to let me know what your thoughts on them are in the comment section below. Make sure to also like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let's try and end off the year strong. We're at like 128 subscribers when I'm recording this. So thank you all so much for your subscribing to my channel, and hopefully we can keep this thing going in the near future. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time.